This is Kaushik Ranchod from the Ranchod Law Group. Welcome to our immigration show. We represent clients across the United States and worldwide. You want to stay tuned to watch this entire video because we're going to talk about how we got a green card, specifically a marriage-based green card, approved with no interview. Yes, you heard that right. That is totally amazing, and we've had this happen with a few other cases as well. So we're seeing this as a trend, and I want to share with you how we were able to do that. So stay tuned. But if you haven't already, smash that like button and post your comments below. And if this doesn't apply to you or don't have a green card situation, share this with friends or family, because that way they may need to get this information as well, and it could help them. In our specific marriage-based green card case, the reason that I think that we got our case approved is because we were so thorough in preparing the application and submitting the appropriate joint documents, and therefore USCIS was able to look at all of the documentation and see that this was actually a bona fide relationship and make that determination based off of everything that was presented, and therefore not needing an actual interview. Because what is the point of the interview? Well, when you're going in for an interview, there's two things that USCIS looks at. One, do you actually have a real relationship? So they're going to ask you questions attesting to whether or not you really got married and have it to live together permanently for the rest of your life. That's what your intent is. Or are you just trying to do this for immigration benefits? And the officer at that time will make that determination. In this situation, the officer was able to make that determination by looking at the documents that we presented. Another reason that I think that we were able to get this case approved without an interview was because USCIS is significantly backlogged. So we're seeing the trend now where cases that are taking a long time, those cases are also getting approved without interview. Not all of them, but we are seeing that some cases are actually getting approved. How does this apply to you? Well, when preparing your application, you want to make sure that you provide enough joint documents to show that you actually have a bona fide relationship. If you do not have a lot of joint documents, you might want to consider submitting affidavits of friends or family. I would recommend you also consult with an immigration attorney on your strategy in this respect. All right, now let's talk about the processing times, because I know that's like one of the number one questions that I always get. And I'm going to walk you through this case, what happened when, so you can get an idea of the actual processing times. Well, the first thing we did is we followed a one-step application. That's an I-130 485 with also the supporting documents. Some of those include the affidavit of support, I-864, I-131 travel document, I-765 work authorization. So you can get work authorization by filing that with your application, and you will get work authorization application in most cases. Well, it depends upon the processing time in your jurisdiction, but you should get a work authorization before the interview unless the government starts processing green card cases faster than the actual work authorization processing times. But we're not seeing that at the time that I'm shooting this video, and that is in November 2022. This was a case where we represented a client. She was in F1 status, and they're newlyweds, married a U.S. citizen, and we filed a marriage-based green card application, otherwise known as an adjustment of status. That's basically filing for a green card inside the United States, whereas consular processing is known as the immigrant visa. Now, with marriage-based green card cases, there can be a variety of different complex situations. There could be an overstay situation if you entered on a visa and overstayed. There could be a situation where you are not having any bona fide documents. Maybe that's because you're a newer couple, or you just don't want to commingle your assets. You might have already had a denial from a previous marriage. They're going to look back at that specific situation. So that is very important when filing your new application, making sure that there is an explanation of what happened previously. Other issues include affidavit of support issues if you don't make enough money or you need to qualify on assets. So we handle a variety of complex immigration issues in our office. And this is what we see day in and day out with marriage-based green card cases, a variety of these different types of issues. Now, what if you get a notice of intent to deny or RFE? Well, we handle that as well. And I want to share with you what that looks like if you get an RFE, so you can brace yourself for that situation, and hopefully avoid that situation. So I'm going to share with you some of the documents that they may ask for in a request for evidence. What USCIS really likes to see is shared assets. So they could ask for documents showing any kind of joint documents, whether that be bank statements, utility bills, credit card statements, phone bills, joint lease, insurance policies, joint insurance policies. They also look at your income taxes. Were those jointly filed as well? What's important with the bank statements is they do look at when the bank account was opened. So what I've also noticed when I've gone to an interview too is they don't just accept those bank statements, but they will go through those bank statements as well and see what is happening with your transactions. Is this a ghost bank account, or is this an actual bank account that you're using? One of the best forms of evidence is birth certificates of your children. So if you have that, that's what they'll ask for as well, and that's important to include. Pictures of weddings and affidavits from friends or family attesting to your relationship. We filed this application in September 2020. It took USCIS 1 year, September 2021, to issue the work authorization, the I-765. And it also took them 1 year to also issue the travel document. And then 2 years, 1 month later, October 2022, we got the case approved without an interview. Of course, our client was happy, and everyone in our office was happy, because this is why we do what we do, to help keep families together. So if you have a complex situation, just keep up the hope. Don't worry. You can contact us at 916-613-3553. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. You are truly amazing, because by bettering yourself, you're bettering your family. And by bettering your family, you are bettering the world. Bye for now.